So one of the major challenges of studying any environment is a lack of long-term monitoring data. On Lake Scugog, we're lucky to have a relatively long record of the ice conditions on the lake, as measured from when the lake froze over, from Port Perry out to the Scugog Island, and then when it thawed in the springtime. Very few lakes have a record of ice conditions as robust as Lake Scugog, and so we can use this record to understand how the ecosystem has changed and compare that to climate records in order to understand the change in the environment as a result of climate change. The length of time that the ice remains on the surface of the lake can have important implications for what goes on in the water underneath. The longer the lake is covered, the less oxygen remains as it's used up by organisms over the winter. Much of the activity of the lake ecosystem, starting with when the algae and the plants begin growing, only really occurs once the ice comes off of the lake, and so the timing of that change is really important for the duration of the growing season throughout the year. The record of ice that we have for the lake is showing that the trend is for the lake to freeze later and later in the fall and winter and to melt earlier and earlier. And this results in a longer growing season for algae and plants in the lake, which results in more production occurring in the summer. So the longer open water season means more time for plants and algae to grow. And so as the winter comes around again and the lake freezes over, all of that material that has grown up throughout the summer settles to the bottom and is broken down by bacteria, which uses up the oxygen in the water. And so because the oxygen is already getting low underneath of the ice, it can be used up by the bacteria breaking down all of this plant material, and that can be a problem for species in the water. So it may not seem like the duration of the ice cover is a big deal, but it can be. A change of only a couple of days can result in big changes in the lake itself.